What's up, YouTube? Timbers here. Well, now, since we are pretty much in the month of April, lots of interesting movies to look forward to. So, here are my official top 10 anticipated movies coming out in the month of April. Alright, number 10 is a film that not many people probably heard of, but it's a movie called Sacramento. It's a directorial debut by Michael, I can never pronounce his last name too well, Michael Angelano, I think his name is. You might remember him from like the 2005 movie Sky High. He was recently in Oppenheimer. He's always really cool every time he's in stuff. Well, he stars and directs this film. It has a little bit of a real pain feel to it, though. Except it's a road trip movie. They don't go like by plane or whatever. But still, when Free Spirit Ricky suddenly reappears in Father to Be Glenn's life, the two former best friends embark on a spontaneous road trip from LA to Sacramento. And you also got like Micah Cera, Kristen Stewart, the actress from Pen 15, Maya Erskine, who I believe she's actually married to Michael, so good on them. The trailer for this does look really charming. You know, I'm always a sucker for road trip movies, so I'm all for this. This definitely looks like it'd be interesting to check out. Alright, number 9 is Until Dawn. Now, I never really played the Until Dawn games, and I know many people are not really a fan of it because it's not really sticking to the game, so I don't have too much, I'm not excited for this because, I play the game and whatever. I'm mostly looking forward to see this because it's directed by David Sandberg. He is the director behind horror films like Annabelle Creation, Lights Out, and of course, most recent, the Shazam films. This actually does look really creepy, though. Of course, this has this definitely feels like if Happy Death Day was rated R, this is what we get. Yeah, it's like an R-rated version of Happy Death Day, really. Of course, on 1 year after her sister Melanie mysteriously disappeared, Clover and her friends head into a remote valley where she vanished in search of answers. And, an abandoned visitor center, they find themselves stalked by a mass killer. And, of course, only to wake up and find themselves back in the beginning of the same evening. The trailer for this does look really fun, though. Looks pretty bloody here. I like the cast involved, so I'm intrigued to see this. Alright. Coming in at number 8 is Hell of a Summer. Now, Hell of a Summer is co-directed by Finn Wolfhard and Billy Brock. Brock, I think that's his last name. Now, it's when 24-year-old Jason Hochberg, played by Fred Hechinger, arrives for counselor weekend on at his beloved Camp Pineway. His biggest problem is feeling out of touch with his teen coworkers. Little does he know, a mass killer has murdered camp owners John and Kathy and is preparing to strike again. And the trailer for this does look a lot of fun. It is, of course, a slasher movie, so that piques my interest. It's a slasher movie set at camp. Obviously, Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th. So I'm definitely intrigued to see this. It does look like it'd be really fun to check out, so hopefully it could be one. Alright. Number 7 is Warfare. Now, Warfare, of course, is co-directed. Got a lot of movies here that has, co-directors. But anyway. It's co-directed by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland. A platoon of American Navy SEALs in the home of an Iraqi family overwatches the movement of U.S. forces through insurgents' territory. The trailer for this does look intriguing. Looks pretty intense. Getting a little bit of an American Sniper feel to it at times. You got Cosmo Jarvis, Charles Melton, Joseph Quinn, Will Poulter. Cool year for Will Poulter, by the way. Of course, Noah Centineo. It looks excellent. Looks really intriguing. The cast of characters looks interesting, so I'm really looking forward to see this. Alright. Coming in at number 6 is The Shrouds. Now, The Shrouds is the new David Cronenberg film, who obviously he gave us movies like The Fly, he gave us, History of Violence, Videodrome. And this is about a businessman named Kosh, who recently lost his wife, invents a revolutionary and controversial technology that enables the living to monitor their dear departed in their shrouds. One night, multiple graves, including that of Carson's wife, are discredited, and he sets out to track down the perpetrators. And the trailer does look pretty creepy here. Vincent Cassell, Diane Kruger's in this. It looks really interesting to check out, so I'm looking forward to see that. On Alright, number 5 is The Luckiest Man in America. Now, this is the new Paul Walter Hauser film, where like in 1984, Michael Lawson, an unemployed ice cream truck driver from Ohio, steps onto the game show Press Your Luck. Who remembers Press Your Luck? I mean, no whammy, no whammies. That I used to watch that tons of times on the Game Show Network. But anyway, harboring a secret, the key to endless amounts of money, but his winning streak gets strained when the executives in the control room start to uncover his real motivations. And the trailer for this does look intriguing. It sounds interesting. I love Paul Walter Hauser, so I'm intrigued to see this one. Alright. Coming in at number 4 is Havoc. Now, Havoc is a new action movie starring Tom Hardy, Forest Whitaker. It's also from the director of The Raid, so that piques my interest. When a drug heist swerves lethally out of control, a jaded cop fights his way through the corrupt city's criminal underworld to save a politician's son. And the trailer for this does look intriguing. Tom Hardy looks great. Timothy Olyphant's in this. Luis Guzman. Got some great cast members. It looks a lot of fun, so I'm intrigued to see this one. Alright. Coming in at number 3 is Drop. Now, Drop is, of course, the new Blumhouse movie, directed by Chris Landon, who gave us movies like, speaking of Happy Death Day, he gave us Happy Death Day, Freaky, Scout Sky to the Zombie Apocalypse. He's done some great horror movies in the past. And this stars Megan Faye from the White Lotus fame. Violet is a widowed mother on her first date in years, arrives at an upscale restaurant where she is relieved that her date, Henry, is more charming and handsome than she ever expected. But their chemistry begins to curdle as Violet begins being irritated and terrorized by a series of anonymous drops to her phone. And the trailer for this does look intriguing. Some of the reviews that came out from this, looks great too. It does look interesting to check out. Megan Faye is really great. The guy from It Ends With Us, Brandon Skelner, I think his name is. He's a cool actor, so I'm all for this. Definitely looks like it could be a good one. Alright, number 2 is The Accountant 2. Of course, this is the sequel to 2016's The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck once again back as Wolf, who is compelled to solve the case, realizing more extreme measures are necessary. Wolf recruits his estranged and highly lethal brother Brax to help in partnership with Mary Beth Medina. They uncover a deadly conspiracy, becoming targets of a ruthless network of killers who will stop at nothing to keep their secrets buried. And this does look intriguing. Of course, the first Accountant is great. Definitely looking forward to see the sequel here, so I'm all for it. Hopefully, it's a good one. And my number 1 anticipated movie of April is Sinners. Of course, this is the new vampire movie directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld. And it's Michael B. Jordan plays 2 characters here. You also got Jack O'Connell, Delroy Lindo, some great cast members here. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater threat is waiting for them back. And the trailer for this does look intriguing. Michael B. Jordan is always great. Seeing him pair up with Ryan Coogler again piques my interest. Every time those two does a movie together is always a given. So I'm definitely excited for this. Hopefully it's a great one, but we'll see here. That's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Sacramento. 9, Until Dawn. 8, Hell of a Summer, 7, Warfare, 6, The Shrouds, 5, The Luckiest Man in America, 4, Havoc, 3, Drop, 2, The Accountant 2, and number 1, Sinners. There's some other great ones coming out this month. Freaky Tales looks interesting. Now, people's probably going to be like, wait, where's the Minecraft movie? Yeah, that's nowhere near on this list. Because, I'm sorry, the trailers for that has looked terrible. I'm sorry. Early reactions, by the way, and stuff are also coming out from it. Yeah, that's going to be a big, big letdown. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be seeing it, but I ain't excited for it. So, thank God for AMC A-list, you know. All right, other stuff. We of course got the King of Kings. Now, I was gonna add the Amateur on the list. Now, people's probably being like, "Where's the Amateur?" Now, the trailers look interesting, but I'm actually more excited for these 10 more than the Amateur. But hey, maybe the Amateur will be a surprise. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, other G20 with Viola Davis looks interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, The Wedding Banquet. That will probably be in my honorable mention. Psychotherapy looks interesting. Let's see. Definitely not Snakes. That looks terrible. The Cheech and Chong documentary, Cheech and Chong's last movie. I'm interested in seeing that. The Ugly Stepsister. Star Wars Revenge and Sith's coming. Legend of Ocho will probably be in my honorable mention. On Sweat Horses will also be in my honorable mention. There's a lot of great stuff to look forward to in April, but I only narrowed it down to 10. Anyway, let me let you guys. What are some of your some films coming out in April you're interested in? If not possible, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Tim Saga.